Aru! Qapla, everyone. It's Monday, BedLife, January 20th, 2020. The Honorable Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Day. He had a dream, and he has not yet woken up. Or has the dream not yet come to fruition? Either way, we haven't got there yet. We haven't got there yet. Qapla, everyone. Welcome. So, Yosef was early as usual. Welcome, Yosef. Thomas Potts was first after I actually hit start. Hello, Thomas. Yosef says hi. Welcome, Yosef. Life with Matthew says Qapla, Bird of Prey, and all. Qapla, Life with Matthew. Resolute Germ says hi all. Welcome, Resolute. Aberjam says McClunky. Thank you, Aberjam. And Aberjam is, of course, the brains behind the Karoga, the national anthem, which you heard at the beginning of the stream. Thank you, Aberjam, who is not being held in a Krogan prison despite fake news being put out there by Turkestan. Number one sci-fi says Qapla, Bird of Prey. Thoughts on the Enterprise D? We'll get into that in just a couple of minutes. Number one sci-fi. Let's let a few more people get in the chat. And yes, we're going to talk about obviously the biggest news in Star Trek Picard is the Enterprise D was finally shown in a few frames. 4 frames of a single trailer. We get 4 shots of the Enterprise D traveling in space. And not even together. There was 2 frames, another scene, and then another 2 frames. I have all 4 frames. We're going to look at each one. Also, I watched Trek Yards earlier today. You guys should check it out if you're interested. Trek Yards did about a 10-minute video where they went over every single aspect of the Enterprise D frames, comparing it to the Enterprise D from the Next Generation. And last night on my Picard live stream, I was looking at it. I was saying there was something different, but I couldn't tell what it is. Trek Yards figured out what it was, so I will talk about that in a little bit too. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just there was something I couldn't put my finger on, and once they put it next to the original D, now it's much more obvious what the issue was. Joseph says, now I'm interested. Who got the first? Yeah, if it was Thomas, Joseph. I'm sorry. Thomas was first. You were very soon after. Rock Solid says, remember, smash that like button. Set chat to live. Make sure you're still subscribed. That is true. Join the Subscribe Star. Donate if you can. Make sure you're still subscribed. Again. And down with the Karogan dictator. What Resolute. Rock Solid, I think you need to take your medication again. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Bird of Prey and check. Greetings, Mike Richards. Rambling Canuck says, hello, Bird of Prey 5 and all. Welcome, Rambling Canuck. John DeMarco says, greetings. Aberjam says, 5 by 5. Thank you, Aberjam. I'm always curious about that microphone. Josh Streets is down with the evil dictator Bird of Prey and hail Karoga's true ruler, STD Picard. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Rock Solid is doing hashtag Dear Bopo. Dear Bopo? Are you meaning Dear Bop? Are you unable to spell Dear Bop? Dear Bops. Vile Mike, welcome Vile, says howdy folks on another smoke break. Qapla Vile. Trek Night Fighters, Bird of Prey, greetings and hashtag Dear Bop. There'll be Dear Bop too. We'll get to Dear Bop as well today. Yosa says I'm going to have a dream soon. Rosh says, I understand it's late for you. I thank you for sticking around, my friend. Cheryl Moore says greetings, Bird of Prey, Mama Prey, and fellow nerds. I greeted the correct stream tonight. You did, Sharon Moore. I was laughing last night when Anti-Tricker went live, like 5 minutes before I usually go live. Sharon Moore greeted him with greetings, Birdo Prey, Mamo Prey, and the like. And I just was like, and then about a minute later he caught it. He realized what he did. He thought he was watching me. It was Anti-Tricker that was on. 09A team says, where are you in the chat in the Inquisition? I didn't see your response. Yes, okay, so I rewatched last night's Inquisition. I'm like 85% of the way through. And unfortunately, so for those who don't know, just in case there's anyone here who doesn't, the Inquisition is a Sunday night show that Nerdrotic and Doomcock do together. Last night it was on Doomcock's channel. It goes back and forth between the channels. But they started it later than usual. So right around, 9:45 p.m. it actually started Eastern. And I was staying up to watch Avenue 5, which started at 10 p.m. Eastern. So when the chat started, I went ahead and I put in a super chat. And I don't know, I said something, because the Inquisition is all about punishing, Hollywood types for the destruction they do to our popular culture. So I put in a $2 super chat saying, Klingon pain sticks to the groin for Alex Kurtzman. And, I just had to put something in. So they read that early, relatively early on, but I fell asleep. After I streamed about Avenue 5, I fell asleep and I watched the rest of the stream this morning, throughout the day today. And apparently, around, 11 p.m. my time, they had asked me, somebody had brought up Avenue 5 in the chat, and I think Nerdrotic noticed I was doing an Avenue 5 review, or somebody told him I was doing an Avenue 5 review, and because they had just read my super chat, they thought I was still in the chat. So they asked me to please just give a one-word review of Avenue 5, but I didn't because I was asleep. By the time they had asked, I was no longer on their channel. So this morning, or like midday, by the time I got to that point in the Inquisition, I answered in a comment. But I'm sure, I doubt Nerdrotic or anyone reads it, because that live stream is probably unlisted by now anyway. But the one word, if I had to give a one-word review of Avenue 5, so far it would be meh. Meh. And the slightly longer review is, I'm going to give it another episode. The first episode, it wasn't a hell of a lot there. The best I did was chuckle. It got a chuckle out of me. 1, maybe 2 times. Like 1.5 chuckles. Veep usually gets a full laugh out loud at least once an episode. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So Veep usually gets a full laugh out loud at least once an episode, sometimes multiple times an episode. This Avenue 5 is by the producers of Veep, and Laurie was in quite a few seasons of Veep as well. So, we were hoping for a continuation. Now, there was a lot of setup this first episode, so I will give them one more episode to see if it's actually going to be funny or not, worth watching. To be quite frank, based on this first episode, it's not particularly that funny. But, you know, it's the first episode. You gotta give it a little time. So, 2-3 episodes in, we'll see what happens. It's a 10-episode season, I believe. So, we'll see. But, it was a bit disappointing. A bit disappointing. I'd hoped for more. And then I was very disappointed when I had a chance to strike it big on the Inquisition. But I couldn't answer because I was asleep. Yosef says, Vile Mike, yes. Did the stream just start? Oh, Vile Mike says, wait, did the stream just start? Yes, it did, Vile. Vile says, Yosef, wow, good timing indeed. And Shromor says, greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels. Indeed. Aberjam says, I was wondering, venerable leader, in honor of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., could I possibly have my shackles removed for just half an hour? Aberjam, I keep trying to explain this to you. You are not being held prison in Karoga. You are probably being held prison in Turdistan, and they just put like the Karogan flag on the wall to make you think that Karoga is holding you. I assure you, we are not. We are looking for you, and we've already destroyed, how many? 12 Turdistani orphanages and 6 hospitals looking for you. But there's hundreds more to go. We will find you one day, Aberjam. Assuming you're actually in Turdistan. There's also rumor that DJ Odyssey has captured you and is holding you in Bunnyland, making you think it's Karoga as well. Because if he has to put on the unicorn suit, he's going to actually put it on you and pretend that he is wearing it. It's another rumor that we've heard here in Karoga, and we have our best intelligence officers working on seeing if there's any truth to that statement. 09A team says Trek is dead, just like the D. It's not dead. It's not dead. Mamo Pray 5 says hi all. Just stop by to hit the like and say hello. Thank you, Mamo Pray, who's right next to me now.
You're welcome.
Alexander says, Berto Pray 5, we have the Rose Tico series. We'll win. We'll have the Rose Tico series. We'll win. Yes, Alexander, one day. Trek 5 says, how are you, Mamo Pray? She's good. She's a little busy. John DeMarco says, like Data, I think the Enterprise is probably from a dream or a flashback. Well, let's talk about the D, because there's enough people here. I know you all want to talk about the D. Yes, I know what that refers to. I get it. But it's still, that's what you guys want to talk about, so we will talk about the D. It's time to talk about the D. How are we going to do this? Okay. So, here are the 4 frames. The 4 frames, and let's, we can get this even bigger, because this is this is at full resolution. These are the 4 frames. The first 2 on top, and there was another scene, and then the bottom 2 frames as the Enterprise D got even closer to the camera. So, this is what I was looking at the first time, more or less, this image, and I was like, it's close, but it's not exactly right. And so what Trickyard showed in their analysis, their 10-minute analysis, was they put it next to a 3D model they had of the original Enterprise, and I think Samuel Cockings, Captain Foley and Commander Cockings They have got a lot of their 3D models, and they put their model, I believe, in virtually the same position. And the biggest difference I could see was these windows. The windows on the Enterprise D from the Next Generation are quite bigger than the windows on here. And to be honest, it makes sense because the resolution of the TV at the time, the Enterprise D, even though the model's been upgraded to HD, the model was designed for 480 resolution that a television has, or even less. So to see individual windows, they had to be considerably bigger. So like here we can see, like right here, there's two windows next to each other. Whereas on the old model, that would be one single window and it would be longer. So these are much smaller, which makes sense because you're watching now at 1080p or even 720p, 1080p, possibly. I don't even know if it's available in 4K, but it's certainly likely that they're 4K. It's being recorded in 4K and will be available in 4K at one point. So you can do much greater detail of windows, and it's basically all the windows. It's just the windows, and a little bit of the coloring in the primary hull and the deflector area. But to be honest, the coloring was minor. It's the windows. It's all about the windows. And I'm going to say this ship, I dare say, looks better. It looks better than what we saw in the Next Generation, and basically just because it's a higher resolution ship. Now, granted, we don't have a lot of light. We don't have a lot of color. So it's hard to communications with Starfleet Command, Captain. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell a lot, but I think this will be a true representation of the D. Thomas Potts with a $4.99 super chat in all capitals. Due to your attacks on Turkestan orphanages and hospitals, we will wage full-scale war. Our WMDs will be used. You crossed the line. Thomas, we've been attacking your orphanages and hospitals for several weeks now. So if you use your WMDs, a Turkestani WMD is basically a paper bag full of poop. And sometimes they light them on fire. And of course, Rational Roundtable went live, so Anti-Trekker can just stream my stream over his game playing. Why not? Why not? So I got Turkestan and Thomas Potts, the military, the chief of the military of Turkestan, threatening me, and we have the political leader of Turkestan, copywriting, taking my copyrights. No respect. Ain't getting no respect. So, yeah, so there's the D. Actor says zoom and enhance. Resley says it's official. Bird loves the D. I like this version of the D. I'm going to be honest. It's solid. This is not a 25% different Enterprise D. Maybe it's a 5% different Enterprise D. And I'm going to have to give credit where credit is due. Anti-Trekker said this himself earlier today, that in his video, that this is actually an improvement on the Enterprise D. And frankly, because of improvement in television quality, I'm okay with it. I don't have a problem with it being the Enterprise D. I hope we get more of it. I hope we get it in better lighting. However, the reality is, number one, we don't know this is the Enterprise D. It really wouldn't make sense for it to be the Enterprise D because the Enterprise D was destroyed. So, it's either a flashback, a dream sequence, or if it's a real ship, which is what I hope the best, is that it's not actually the Enterprise. It's some other Galaxy-class starship that happens to still be around in the time of Picard. Like, I don't know, the Monroe or something. I don't remember what the names of the Odyssey, but the Odyssey also got destroyed in Deep Space Nine. So I don't know what the other names it could be, but I'm hoping it is one of the other Galaxy-class starships, because that would mean we actually get to see a Galaxy-class in perhaps a space battle, or at least a space scene. If this is just a dream sequence of some type, then it's very possible that we don't really get to see more than the few frames we see here. Not Ryan Johnson with a $2 super chat. I like the D. It's solid. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. I don't care. It's fine. You can quote me. You can quote me as saying it. So I do hope we actually get to see more of the D. Of the Enterprise D in Picard. I'm hoping more than likely, I'd guess they're just going to show this as part of Picard's dream sequence, because Data, at least him playing cards with Data is 100% a dream. Him painting with Data in the vineyard is, I'd say, 99.99% a dream. So we'll see. And anyway, so the other thing I wanted to point out from this Picard trailer that came out yesterday was Data. Now, Data, I would say they fixed him. Now, this is from the earlier, they played the same scene in two different trailers. And this is Data playing cards with Picard. And you can see at the San Diego Comic-Con trailer on the left, he was paler. And, everybody looked at him and said, this just doesn't look like Data. So it's dark now. They've darkened it. They've zoomed in. This is the exact same frame, the corresponding frame. They've zoomed in, they've darkened it, and I think they've touched him up a bit. If you look, I'll grant you, this doesn't look like the Data we knew from TNG. But, and thank you, Joseph Petrick, for a €2 super chat. If it's a dream, Data and Picard are for playing poker at Mars. Yes, it is definitely a dream. But I would say this, while it doesn't look like Data from TNG, if you go back to Nemesis, and in fact, if you Google Data in Nemesis, the face of Data in Nemesis looks a hell of a lot more like the January 19th, 2020 trailer, yesterday's trailer, than this face does from the Comic-Con trailer. So they did do a significant post-production work to get Data looking right. Now, I think they could only do this because Data is probably in only a handful of scenes, right? To bring Brett Spiner back and have him do interviews as he's returning as Data, it's probably a little disingenuous. Because I don't think Data's he's certainly not going to be a main character. I would be surprised if we see him more he's probably just going to be in a couple of dream sequences. And that's really probably it. If we see him more than that, I would be shocked and surprised. But you know what? The good news on Star Trek Picard is that they are releasing stuff every day, it seems. They are trying to get publicity. People are talking about it. There are lots of other YouTube channels are putting out videos about it. There is a lot more, I'd say there seems to be a lot more goodwill to season 1 of Star Trek Picard than there was to season 2 of Discovery. Discovery season 2, it was so-so. Even though the Enterprise was going to be there, and Pike was going to be there, and Spock was going to be there, I can tell right now there's more people interested in seeing Picard than season 2 of Discovery. will it turn out to be good? I highly doubt it, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It's what I always say, and I'm getting tired of saying it, but that's what else can I really say? I want it to be good. I do. It feels very hard to think that it's going to be good knowing what we know, but we won't know for sure. In a few days, we'll have a pretty good idea, at least what the first episode is. That will answer, I hope, a lot of questions. Oh. Trek 95 says, Rock Solid Bird Prey, I sent you a link on Discord. Okay, Trek 95, I'll have to take a look at it a little bit later. So I wanted to play. See, this is a little bit. We're changing from Star Trek Picard to Jeeps. This is. I hope it's not. I'm really doing this as a review, but so this is a Facebook post that some woman posted up. It says, "Please watch this video of my boyfriend complaining about Jeeps." Yeah. Yeah, her boyfriend complaining about Jeeps.
This is my hell. I have a word for these people. They are Jeeple.
He's saying this is his hell. And he has a word for these people. They're Jeeple. Anyway, there's like 50 Jeeps passing him on the road. But look at this tool. Look at this guy. He should be talking.
They lack a personality, and the only thing they do is spend money on souping out their cars, which guzzle gas. Oh my god. They spend more money on the fucking bumper stickers about how much they love their Jeep than on the Jeep itself. Just look at...
So he's bitching about how these Jeeple, they guzzle gas. Like, oh my god, they're guzzling gas. I'm sure he's driving in a Prius or something, right? It's probably he is. And they spend more money on their bumper stickers saying how much they love their Jeeps than their Jeeps themselves. But he also says they waste all their money on their Jeeps to begin with. Well, you know what? Maybe you should be driving a Jeep. Because if they love their Jeep that much to be spending their money on their Jeeps and on bumper stickers telling people how much they love their Jeeps, maybe you should try a Jeep. Because clearly you don't seem to really love what you're driving, since seeing these people so happy about what they drive is making you angry. It's triggering this guy. He's literally being triggered because other people enjoy what they drive.
How f***ing god-awful they are, and I can guarantee...
Oh, he calls this god-awful. Jeepers are god-awful people.
Not a single one of these f***ing people actually takes it on their... Oh, f*** that guy with the truck. All of these motherfuckers. Like, Jesus f***ing Christ. You don't need to get 6 miles to the gallon if you're just...
You don't need to get 6 miles to the gallon, but it's fun as hell. Okay? I'm sure you don't need to constantly trim your facial hair, but you want to do it, right? You don't need to wear 3 frickin' shirts at one time, but you do it. We're not going to you and saying, hey, you stop being such a tool. Just leave them alone. If you don't want to be part of the Jeep community, don't. But his guy.
Just gonna that. Why did they make a pickup truck a Jeep?
Oh,
that's a combination of my 2 least favorite fucking
They're
things.
called Jeep Gladiators.
Big surprise. He's like, why did they make a pickup truck out of a Jeep? It's a combination of my 2 least favorite vehicles. So he hates Jeeps and he hates pickup trucks. But his girlfriend knew it was a Jeep Gladiator. So I'm pretty sure this girlfriend of his probably dating a Jeep guy on the side. Because she knows her Jeeps. She knows her Jeeps. He's not even wise enough to be suspicious why his girlfriend was able to tell him what the name of that Jeep was that he didn't know. She said Jeep Gladiator a little too enthusiastically, I say.
They're called Jeep suckers. That's what they f***ing are.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's saying they're called Jeep, bum suckers. Although not bum, a C word. I don't want to even say it. He said, that's what they are. No, they're not. They're called Jeep Gladiators, and your girlfriend knows it.
All these guys is losers.
All these guys is losers. All these guys is losers.
Holy they made me go real Jersey.
Oh, they made him go real Jersey. Wow. So he's blaming the Jeep owners for making him go Jersey. Look at this guy's face again. I have a word for you. Tool! Also, a less flattering word that starts with a C. Because your girlfriend's probably also the girlfriend of a Jeep driver. But, yeah. What a tool. Yes, what a tool, Sci-Fi Nation. What a tool. And she's definitely screwing a Jeep guy behind his back. Probably not even hiding it all that much. He probably just doesn't get it. He probably doesn't understand. So he's like, why do you always go out at night to get milk, but then you never come home with milk? And she's like, I drink the milk on the way home, so I throw it out. And he's probably, I hope you recycle. Yeah. Anyway, what a tool. What a tool. These tools are out there complaining about Jeeps, driving their shit boxes, and saying, oh, well, my car is so much better than yours because I get 18 miles to the gallon and you get 6. Well, you know what? I'm not asking you to pay for my gas, buddy. Just stay out the way. Yeah, that is a soy boy, indeed. Okay, so let's find out where I was in the chat before I started talking about the D. Let's see. Track 95 says that is not the D. Aberjam says, thank you, great bird of prey. I am honored you are willing to slaughter orphan children, the weak and the defenseless by the thousands in order to secure my safety. We will, Aberjam. We will find you. Actor was, he was saying to zoom and enhance, and yeah. Okay. Live Matthew says, rock solid. Oh, good. You should jump on with Cinnabon next time we do some N64 gaming. We stunk it up doing Mario Kart. Well, yeah, I watched a good part of Cinnabon's stream last night. I watched that this morning. I actually watched it before I started the Inquisition. And you guys had some good fun. I did see you guys finally get Mario Kart working. And before that was 7 Days to Die. And Cinnabon even threw in some, what's it called? In time, on time, out of time. A game that looks like you're a DeLorean, but you're not quite a DeLorean, traveling through time that Peter Quinn told me about. I looked at it, I don't know, but I watched Cinnabon play some of it last night. Yeah, I don't think it's a game for me, but it looks halfway interesting, maybe when it gets a little further developed. Dr. Alex's Bird of Prey, hello, you'd be pleased to hear I survived the flight. Hope you enjoyed the latest Season 12 video. Thank you, Dr. Alex. And yes, I saw you reply to my reply. Dr. Alex did a premiere yesterday. Unfortunately, I missed the premiere, but he's doing his Doctor Reads the Doctor with his co-host. Yes, it's makes it fun to listen to. Sci-Fi Nations is Bird of Prey, only $82 to go for the unicorn suit. To be warned, as a DJ, you're going to be wearing that unicorn suit this year sometime. Maybe like right in the middle of summer, so it's nice. You get nice and sweaty inside. Oh, wait, I'm still way behind on the chat. Okay. Track 95 is asking Mama Pray if she's got a story later. Yeah, I should think. I think there's one. I mean, you could. Well, he talked about with Camille here. He talked about, uncle first marriage for a certain uncle.
Oh,
I mean, you could talk about that being it is Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
It's. We'll find something. Let's see. Alexander says, Rock Solid, you hate when I'm singing. Vile Mike says, Rock Solid, I don't think you hate everything, just the good stuff. And Rock Solid says, Vile, I've been accused of hating everything, so gotta be consistent. Okay. And Vile says, Rock Solid, you don't seem to hate chocolate Oreo cakes. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, greetings, birds, turds, and bunnies. Welcome, Wes. Shromore says, Bird of Prey, you gotta allow Anti-Trekker to continue to vandalize the great nation. Are you going to allow Anti-Trekker to continue to vandalize the great nation of Kuroga? He may hide behind Rational Roundtable, but his infamy must not go unanswered. Hail Kuroga. Hail Kuroga! Well, I tell you what, wherever Rational Roundtable Anti-Trekker is right now, he's claiming he's shooting Kurogans or attacking Kurogans from helicopters with infinite weapons, even though he claims not to be using sheets, though he has infinite weapons and infinite bullets, even though the character in the game, he doesn't have infinite bullets, but the helicopter has infinite Hellfire missiles. Tell me how that makes sense. And he claims not to be using cheats. He's actually not in Kuroga. That's the funniest thing. He thinks he's in Kuroga, but he's not in Kuroga. And I'm not going to tell him where Kuroga is because, then he will come to Kuroga, and we don't want it. I mean, we could repel him easily, but why even waste our bullets? Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings, Bird of Prey, Mile Prey, Sassio Prey, and fellow nerds. Greetings, Sci-Fi Nation. Surf Tricktronics says, Avenue 5, I thought it was funny. Really? Listen, like I said, I got a chuckle. I had a chuckle and a half. Mamo Prey liked it. It has potential. I was a little disappointed where they cut it off, and frankly, I was hoping for better. Because I really enjoyed Veep, and I guess I was trying to compare it to Veep. And maybe it's not fair to compare it to Veep, because Veep is one of the funniest series in the last few decades. I mean, it's really up there. Certainly a top 5 or top 10 in terms of funny series. Look, it says potential fraud. Why are you even... Why ring? Just hang up on potential fraud. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's smart. It's the smartphone. It's smart enough to know, hey, this is fraud. But not smart enough to say, maybe we don't need to waste time ringing for fraud. I hope Avenue 5 gets better. I'll put it that way. I mean, if every episode was like the first episode, I'd be disappointed. Shronmore says, greetings to Sci-Fi Nation. Josh Reed says, Alexander, Neelix is it? Yes, Neelix was the high point for me. Neelix was the high point of Avenue 5. Now, obviously, it's not Neelix the character, but Neelix the actor, Ethan Phillips, the actor who plays Neelix on Voyager, is also on Avenue 5. And on Avenue 5, Ethan Phillips plays an astronaut. Now, because Avenue 5 takes place about 40 years in the future, obviously we're not going to be at the point where we can have giant spaceships traveling around the solar system in 40 years. It's a very optimistic future, let's say, that we're going to have ships in 40 years traveling the solar system. It's only supposed to go around the solar system. It's a pleasure cruise around the solar system, so you can see like the rings of Saturn and the big storm on Jupiter and all those things. You see the asteroid belt. That's basically what they were trying to do, a cruise ship to outer space. So Neelix's character was the 30th man on Mars. He's a fairly old gentleman on the show. He's got pretty much bald, but he has a long ponytail. And he's probably the wisest of all the people on the ship, but nobody gives him any respect. But yeah, Neelix was the high point. Life with Matthew says, hey, Rock Solid, did you manage to avoid catching your kid's sickness? That's a good question. Rock Solid says, who needs Avenue 5 when you have Avenue Q? I mean, aside from the actual Avenue Q in Brooklyn, I don't know what reference Avenue Q is. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello and Qapla, everyone. Got through this Monday okay. Hope everybody got through this Monday okay. Well, there's still a good part of Monday left for a lot of people. Rock Solid says, Life with Matthew, I did not. I was up till around 2 or 3 Sunday, barfing my guts out and up and down. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that, Rock Solid. He could have used the Geloja machine. Yeah, well, if you were barfing and Gelojering simultaneously, you probably didn't need a Geloja machine. It's actually quite dangerous to be using it. Trek 95 says, Bird of Prey, I was asleep when Doomcock mentioned my name. He mentioned your name too, Trek 95, or you're say that I said he was asleep when he mentioned my name? That's because both. I'm not 100% sure if he mentioned your name, but I think you were just quoting me. Lightwood Matthews says, Rock Solid, ew, hope you are feeling better. 09A Team says, making Aneria funny seems like a tall order. Aneria? I honestly, 09A Team, is that a name? I'm not sure. I know yesterday I accidentally called 7 of 9's human name. I accidentally called her Anakin, even though it was Annika. Her human name is Annika, and I accidentally called her Anakin. And apparently that was the biggest. Everybody thought that was super funny. Oh, you get the wrong franchise. I called her Anakin. It's like one letter off. Okay, it was like one letter off. It was such a minor typo of the mouth. I can't believe anybody even talking about it. But Anira, making Anira funny seems like a tall order. I don't know. Maybe that's an actor or actress in the movie, in the TV show. Sci-Fi Nations is Aberjam. The turds are brainwashing you. They absolutely are. Thomas Spot says, wait, he just admitted to killing children and people in hospitals. War crimes. No, I didn't admit to killing people in the hospitals and children. I admitted to blowing up the buildings. We obviously evacuated all the innocent people first. Anti-Trigger says, should I do Kuroga? Should I go to Kuroga to liberate more cities with the propaganda artist O'Prey is broadcasting? And we know you did. Rock Zods is Life with Matthew. I'm at work, so there's that. Finally ate something this afternoon after 36 plus hours. Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little better. Sci-Fi Nation. We read that. Only $82 to go. John DeMarco says, destroying orphanages and hospitals, just a normal day for Kuroga. I read the Dr. Alex post. Thank you, Dr. Alex. Actor says, hello, I'm back from a weekend in the countryside without computers, and I got more bites from bugs than bits from the internet. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, Hector. I used to enjoy getting away from the technology as well, to the countryside, though I did not enjoy the bug bites. Let's see. Everybody's lolling at Anti-Tracker, saying they're sorry Rock Solid is sick. Rock Solid has never had the sickness at the same time before. Anti-Tracker lulls. Agnes is just in time for the talk about the D. And there's all the talk about the D. Quoting me saying we're going to talk about D. Lightwood Matthews says, rock solid, a good start. You should jump on with Cinnabon. I read that one. Zoom and enhance. Bird loves the D. Aberjam is honored. Let's see. Stromwer says, John DeMarco and Thomas. The orphans can stay working in the mines. It will be even better for them as they won't have to pay rent. So Karogers are blowing up orphanages. But we're blowing up Turtistani orphanages. So I don't know what Turtistan does with their orphans. They probably don't even let them out. So we're probably freeing them. Sci-Fi Nation says, hey, it's better than Trek Yards is showing right now. The missus is watching them. She's a traitor to Karoga. Oh. Mrs. Sci-Fi Nation is watching Trek Yards. Well, it's okay. It's okay. Vile Mike says, oh, okay, folks, break is over. Just when Bird is about to talk about the D. But just so you know, I finished the next TOS review last night. It's going to go at 4 p.m. today, Pacific time. Just under 90 minutes. So 7 p.m., 45, 46, 47 minutes from now. Which we're not likely to be done by, but I will watch it as soon as I can. Aberjam says Calkins of the D. No, Calkins of Trek Yards, but you know that. You know that. Sci-Fi Nation says Bird loves the D like Frank loves Freddy. No, I shouldn't even be reading that. Actor says that doesn't look like the D. I don't know, Actor. I think it's dark, but it kind of does. In fact, it really does when you look close. And then Thomas put in his super chat. Thank you, Thomas. Actor says she has a lot of curves. She has lost a lot of curves? That's just the angle we're seeing her at, Actor. It's really not a hell of a lot of curves lost. Light of Maz's Bird of Prey will never get true high-def version of TNG, since they recorded to VHS like a daytime soap instead of recording to film and transferring to VHS. Yes. Now, Deep Space Nine recorded to film, but it's going to be a long time, if ever, that we ever get DS9 in HD. Although, no, TNG had to record to film because they rescanned it in HD. Now, the problem with it was that they did not shoot for widescreen. They shot it for 4:3, so they had to keep it. But, the shots that we get in the remastered edition of TNG, those are HD shots. They're just 4:3 ratio, because that's the ratio they shot. Outside that 4:3 on the film are like unfinished pieces of the set, extras and stuff that you're not supposed to see, so they can't give you the widescreen version. Deep Space Nine, they actually shot for widescreen. If they ever upgrade DS9 to widescreen, they could, in theory, at least. TNG is HD on the Blu-ray, but it's HD on Netflix too. But it's not 16:9 HD. It's 4:3 HD. Whereas Deep Space Nine could be 16:9 HD if they ever did redo it, because that's what they shot for. Yosef prefers the double D. Well, who doesn't? Sci-Fi Nation says, Hail Karoga. Keely Chow says the D will always be my ship. I get it. I understand, Keely. A lot of people grew up looking up to that ship. Aberjam says, there goes Anti-Tricker again. Yeah. Sci-Fi says, the irrational big head. What? No. Actor says, respect the bird. And Actor says, 5% different. Yeah, 5% different. It's not 25%. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, the galaxy is the second best space. Is the second best space in Trek? You mean the second best ship in Trek? I assume. Agner says it looks plenty of different to me, but shrugs. It's only the angle. Yeah, I think it's only the angle, Hector. Not Ryan Johnson, Super Chat, thank you. John DeMarco says, I wonder if the scene is so dark to hide inaccuracies in the model. It is certainly a possibility. And Sci-Fi Nation says the Challenger, I guess, is another Galaxy-class ship. Surf Dractronics says Worf Orc is captain of that Galaxy ship. No, don't say that. That can't, no. I refuse to believe. Resolute Germ says if it's the Challenger, I would actually watch Picard. Actor says John DeMarco, there are plenty of pretty accurate 3D models of the D made by fans. Yeah, there are. They don't even have to, they don't even have to use their own. They could have just bought a model. Thomas says, we will not stop until you are brought to justice. Sure you won't. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, it's the Enterprise D from a dream sequence. Picard and Data are playing cards in tenfold. Yes, but we don't know that this is from that dream sequence. Let's face it. When I have a dream, I don't dream about the ship I'm in from the outside, right? If I dream I'm in a car, I dream I'm driving the car or the Jeep. I'm not dreaming about it, how it looks from the outside. Now, I know it's a TV show, so they can totally start the dream from the outside of the ship and zoom in through a window or something. But I'm not convinced that this is from the dream sequence. It might well be, but it doesn't. I don't know. I feel like it would be a push to add that to the dream sequence, but I also don't think it's from. See, I don't think it's from a dream sequence, but I also don't think it's its own ship. So I really have a hard time believing what it is. Now, I kind of wish that they had put any other ship than because we already saw the Enterprise D, or a Galaxy class, as a hologram in Starfleet headquarters or wherever Picard walks into and he looks up and he sees that hologram of a Galaxy class starship. So I assume they already licensed and I know anti-trackers say they don't need to license it, CBS owns it, but this is a Secret Hideout production. Secret Hideout had to license it, I believe, to use it. And they had to probably get deals, and they already, I assume, got the license for the Enterprise D because the Enterprise D already appeared in one trailer. So I assume they can have the Galaxy class appear in other episodes, and it's easier, less paperwork, and less expensive to put the D in an episode than any other, than like an Intrepid class. So the fact that we're seeing the D that we know they've already licensed for the show at least once is probably why it's the D. Now, had they used it, has this D been in the stockyard at Utopia Planitia, I would have been much happier about that episode. But we saw those shitty Discovery ships instead. Also, in all the other previews, we've literally only have 4 frames. 4 frames, a fraction of a second. A tiny fraction. Not even half a second. Not even a quarter of a second. Anti-Trekker's math, it was 1/6 of 1 second of footage of the Enterprise D. That, it's nothing. It's possible that this scene never even appears in Star Trek Picard. That's a possibility. That this never happens in Picard. It's that little. We can't even be sure it's going to be real. But I would have wished they had shown us a different ship, because they already showed us the D. Show me a second ship. Now, I'm not complaining, right? Because the D is better than nothing. I don't want to make the good the enemy of the perfect, right? It would have been much better had they showed us an Intrepid or a Defiant or whatever the E is, the Enterprise E is. I forget the class offhand. But it would have been better if they'd showed us any of those. But they showed us the D. The D is okay. It's not as good as it could have been, but it's much better than them showing us another McGee class or something for a fraction of a second. Sci-Fi Nation says Stage 9 had an awesome Enterprise D until CBS shut it down. They did. And Joseph, thank you for your super chat. Shromor says it looks like data from the Burger years. John DeMarco says, oh, I have no doubt the fan model was more accurate, but that's probably another story. Surf says it looks like fat Data got a tan. Life with Matthews says, Bird of Prey. On the Galaxy class ship, my money is still on it being the salvaged Enterprise, or at least the salvaged saucer section, on some other ship's salvage drive section. Really? That's what you're going with, Life with Matthew? I can't believe that. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Now, I'll grant you a hell of a lot of Star Trek Discovery and Kurtzman Trek doesn't make any sense, but even I would be shocked at that. Actress's Bird with hepatitis would be better looking Data. Wow. John DeMarco says, yes, intentional inaccuracy seems likely. Resolute says, Spiner did it get steadily chubbier from generations on. Shromor says, Hail Kuroga, Hail Kuroga. Sci-Fi Nation's Hail Kuroga, Hail Kuroga. Hector says, down with Turtistan and Kuroga, long live the Belters. I wanted to say something in Belter, but I can't. I can't even pretend. The Expanse Belters. Sci-Fi Nation's Life with Matthew. You steadily replace every part of a ship over time until all parts are replaced as it's still the same ship, and that is a ancient Greek philosophy question. I forget the title of it, but it was this ancient Greek ship of myth that had been in service so long they replaced every single board of wood on the ship. So if after 50 years you've replaced every single piece of board of wood on the ship, is it still the same ship it was when it started? I say absolutely yes it is, but apparently a lot of philosophers disagree. Sci-Fi says, I just read that. Trek95 says, rock solid, Bird of Prey. I sent you a link on Discord. Thank you. Agnes is a long debated question. Yes. A long debated question in maritime circles. Trek95 says, I want it to be good, but I doubt it. I still hope. Indeed. Rock solid is Bird of Prey, calling it now best track since Discovery. Well, that would not be hard because other than the short tracks, which CBS considers its own series. Yeah, so you know, if you have CBS All Access, Star Trek Discovery is one series, Star Trek Short Tracks is a separate series, and Star Trek Picard is, of course, a third series. So by CBS's All Access count, Picard is the third new Trek series, not the second. But the short tracks have been absolutely horrible. The vast majority of the short tracks were worse than Discovery in general. So, yeah, the short tracks are even worse than Star Trek Discovery. I don't know how they did it, but they found a way. Trek 95 is Bird of Prey. The link I sent is about the D. Okay, well, let's see if I can get to it now. It's tough getting to Discord when I'm streaming. There it is. There it is. Let's see. Okay. So it's another picture of the D. Okay, so basically it's just a picture of the D with the bigger windows, like I was talking about. Here, I'll show it to you guys. So you can see what I mean about these longer and thicker windows, especially here on the lower half of the saucer section. And you compare it to the windows here on the saucer section or up here. You can tell that these are a lot thinner and a lot smaller than these. And this is literally just because resolution. On 480 resolution, you could just about make these out as individual windows, whereas on 480 resolution, you would have no hope of these would just look like these would all connect together in all likelihood. So that's the simple answer as to why it had to look different. I mean, I guess it didn't have to, but it makes sense for it to look different. Now, let's see. We also have another message. Oh. Life with Matthew, is that you? I'm sorry, Life with Matthew. I don't know if you want me to show that. Life with Matthew, if you want me to show that, let me know. Let me know in the chat. So Life with Matthew did send me a picture comparing himself to the guy I called a tool in the Jeep video, and there's on the side profile there's some resemblance, but I'll say that Life with Matthew looks like much less of a tool than the guy from the Jeep the Jeep video. Life with Matthew. I don't think you look like a tool, Life with Matthew. It is a little weird you're wearing a green shirt with the green background, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm closing Discord again, so hopefully I don't have to go back to it. Now my browser's screwing up, and I probably just lost half the chats. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Well, we'll see what happens. If we lost some of the chats, we lost some of the chats. Yep, we did. We did. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so Shromore says Bird of Prey. So you're staying with a C. It starts with a C, and I gotta change the live chat. It starts with a C and some other letters. And now we lost more of it. Canoic says the eco-friendly car is called the public bus. Indeed. Sci-Fi says, I bet that guy is her bottom. Resolute says, I bet that guy likes the D. Oh, he definitely likes the D. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, are you the milkman on the side or that girl? Well, unless she actually just comes to my house, which she doesn't, I am not the milkman. Sci-Fi Nation says, Mario. Sci-Fi Nation says, say it with me, Bird. Mario. It's Mario. Mario is the name they gave their character. If they can't pronounce his own name right, that's their problem, not mine. Surftrick Trice says, most recycling is a sham. They send it out to empty freighters heading back to China, and they use about 15% and dump the other 85% into the ocean. I wouldn't be surprised. At my old job one day, I had to go to... okay, so one of the things I was doing when I first started working was I was working with the Jägermeister tap machines, which was this, unit about this wide. I don't know if you can even see it, but this long and this wide and that tall. And it would go on the back of a bar and would hold 3 bottles of Jägermeister. And if you press a button, it would make the Jägermeister, it would cool the Jägermeister so you get shots that were colder than ice. Like 20 degrees Fahrenheit shots of Jägermeister, which really helped drink it because Jägermeister, when Jägermeister is warm, it's got a strong taste. When it's freezing cold that you could barely taste it, that's when it tastes the best. So we had hundreds of these tap machines. Actually, we had 10,000 plus out at any given time. And hundreds were coming back and forth for repairs, and some were beyond repair. So we would return them to China where they were being made. So, of course, we didn't send every one back to China. At the same time, we had warehouse space in Connecticut, in Bethel, Connecticut. and we would fill up the warehouse until we could fill a shipping container, and then once we could fill a shipping container, we would ship them back to China to be recycled, which I always assumed just meant they probably did throw it into the ocean, because did I really think there was somebody in China that was going to open up and take apart each machine and drain it of Freon or whatever the hell was in it and clean it and put the pieces in different bins and I seriously doubted any of that happened, especially since I don't think we actually paid them to take them back. I think them taking it back was part of the original cost we paid when we bought the machines from them to begin with. But I had to go up to the warehouse one day because we had lost count of how many machines we had. And we also didn't have the correct serial numbers for some of them, because before I got there, let's just say they were not so great at keeping records. So I was literally having to go up and reopen every box that we had already packed these in to ship back to China and double check the tracking the serial number manually. It took the better part of a day. There was like a couple of hundred of them. And I don't know, about midway through opening the box, I wondered who would be opening this in China. And I said, well, just in case there is somebody on the other side of the ocean that's actually going to open this box up and look at it, I was like, maybe what I'll do is I put a $10 bill in the box, that if somebody does open it, maybe they'll see it and they'll get it, and they will be like, oh my God, they're going to talk about that day that they found cash in one of these boxes, and that they'd be so happy. And I just thought that once they get that, they're going to wonder, is it ever going to happen again? And they'll probably just be so much more enthusiastic for doing their job. Now, it would never, ever happen again, because I was never going to do that again, frankly, and I doubt anybody else up there was randomly putting money into boxes being shipped back to China for recycling. But I looked in my wallet and I didn't have a 10. All I had were 20s. So I put in a 20. I don't know. I suspect the 20s probably got destroyed. They probably just dropped the box and everything into an ocean, or they burned it somewhere. I have no idea. But if there really was somebody in China opening boxes, taking these machines apart, hopefully they got a $20 bonus one day. And hopefully they didn't get arrested or fired for taking money they found in a box. That was it. There was no note. I didn't have a pen. I didn't think about it. All I had with me was my wallet and a knife and tape. So I cut it. I put the 20. I looked at the serial number. I put the 20 right on top of the machine. I was fairly certain it would be secured, and they would see it if they opened it. And that was it. I sent $20, presumably to China, to some random person over there, never to be heard from again. But if anybody ever did find it, I'm sure it made their day. Mario Kart, according to Bird. Rockstar says there isn't a game called Mario Kart, Bird. Yes, there is. It's called Mario Kart Racing. Dr. Alex says, thank you, Bird of Prey. Editing episode 5 as I listen to the stream. Very cool. Very cool. Trigger 5 wants me to do Dear Bop. So he said, we need Dear Mop. Dear Mop. Sci-Fi Nation says, and there goes Mecha already whining Picard will be in the disco timeline. FFS. They need to realize the hate train has already left the station. Well, I'm complaining too. Just to be honest, Sci-Fi, I've just got tired of complaining about it. But I am not happy that Picard is going to be in the disco timeline. I talked to Messiah Sisto Prey walked by. Said, you talked about this yesterday. Now we're talking about him again. Track 95 says Sci-Fi Nation. It is in the disco timeline. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, whining, but that's the thing. Whining doesn't solve anything. So we're just going to wait. We're going to wait till Thursday at this point, and we're going to see what happens. Thomas's Bird of Prey. Tell me how Grand Theft Auto cars don't run out of gas because it's part of the game. And you see, Thomas Potts is still upset that I called him an anti-trigger out for having unlimited missiles. But you know what they do run out of? Missiles. And you know what your helicopter and your cars don't run out of? Gas. So not only do you have unlimited gas, you have unlimited weapons. Where in Grand Theft Auto 5, you can only get unlimited weapons if you have the cheat code. So don't tell me you're not cheating. Trek 95 is a Sci-Fi Nation. I did not say it as it appears to be. Cannot tell until it's on. Resolute says, what are you talking about, Bird of Prey? Veep sucks. Veep sucks! Resolute, did you watch the whole series? Veep was great. I loved Veep. Sci-Fi Nation says, apparently Kurtzman confirmed that it's on the title of her thumbnail. Well, what else was he going to do? It was obviously the Discovery timeline. I mean, it had Discovery ships. It's made by Secret Hideout. Okay, there's not, first of all, I would say it's not this Discovery timeline. As I said in my very underviewed video, the 25% explained. Okay, I wish more people would be viewing it. I got a lot of great views. My last few videos on Star Trek Picard and the Children of Mars reviews, I got a lot. I got hundreds, almost 1,000 views so far, which for a channel like mine, that's pretty good views. Whereas my 25% explained video, I think, is still less than 200 views. I wish more people would watch it, because we shouldn't call it the Discovery timeline or a Prime timeline or even the JJ timeline. We should be calling the timelines by the companies, the companies that created it. So Discovery and Short Tracks and Picard are in the Secret Hideout timeline. Okay, original Star Trek is in the CBS Paramount timeline. And the JJ is in the Bad Robot timeline. That's how we should be doing it. And I'll be right back after a commercial break.
I've been playing daughter roles for so long that people forget I'm grown up with kids of my own. I'm certainly grown up enough to know that soap can dry out your face, so I wash with Noxzema skin cream every day. Noxzema makes my face feel really clean. It doesn't dry, puts moisture in, makes my skin feel soft, younger looking. I've been washing with Noxzema for a long time now, and, well, so far so good.
Good skin starts with Noxzema every day. Greaseless, medicated Noxzema skin cream.
Kodak introduces the extraordinary Kodamatic trim print instant color film. Unlike the ordinary instant print, the extraordinary trim print lets you lift off the image to capture the color just the way you like it. And now look how slim I am. I slip easily into places the ordinary bulky instant doesn't fit. So you can keep me in style here in your album with your regular pictures. You can trim me. Watch it. And I'm so thin you can put me where you couldn't put an ordinary instant picture. You can show me off. You can do all kinds of things with me that you can't do with an ordinary instant picture. Here I am, with the new Kodamatic trim print instant color film.
Anyone can do extraordinary things, but he didn't tell you trim print is only for Kodamatic instant cameras.
He didn't tell me it's only from Kodak.
What?
You didn't tell him it was only from Kodak.
Extraordinary.
Thank you.
Trim print, the extraordinary new instant color film from Kodak.
Extraordinary from Kodak. I need to get one of my hands on one of those Kodamatic instant cameras. Joseph says only 8 minutes it's Tuesday. 8 minutes already. Oh, you're 8 minutes into Tuesday, Joseph. And that was, wow, that was a while ago. How can I be 30 minutes behind on chat? And I already skipped a whole bunch of chat, which I lost. Wow. Trek 95 Bird Prey, no, Doomcock was talking about some alcohol and said someone he brought Trek 95 mentioned it to him. Ah, Okay, I might not have got there yet. Resolute Germs says, Bird of Prey, you will never live down that one letter. Oh, Anakin, Annika. Okay. Jeff Franklin says, Bird of Prey. And I don't speak Klingon. I wish I did. I mean, I know Qapla. I know Hu, which I believe is Beam Me Up. Let's get a translation on this, because I know it looks like I know Klingon, but I don't. Do you speak Klingon? Well, no, I do not. I do not speak Klingon. Sorry, Jeff. Kenwick Sapien says 12 a.m. Thursday Pacific time. Yes, that's when the short track drops. So I will probably not watch the Star Trek Picard short track until, I'm guessing, 5 a.m. or so Eastern time. I will go to sleep early, likely on Wednesday, so I can watch the short track very early on Thursday, and I will probably then put together a quick review of the short track to hopefully be out by early afternoon Thursday. And I'm going to be honest, depending on how hard I have to work on this review of Picard, I may or may not stream on Thursday. If I do stream on Thursday, it will likely be a live Picard review stream. Like, I don't know if anybody'd be interested in, like, live watching me live watch Picard. We might do something like that. But I need to get out a review as early as I can on Thursday of Picard. So that's going to be my main thing. I'm not going to be around until that is done. And unfortunately, that takes some time. Actress is Bird of Prey, having enough internet to see the thumbnails of your channel, but not enough to play the video or join or even like was somewhat of a torture. Oh, I'm so sorry, Hector. But you shouldn't have even been looking. You were out in the country getting bug bites. You should have enjoyed that. Rock Solid says no one would record a TV show on VHS Bird of Prey bit broadcasts. VHS bit broadcasts for? I don't know. Sci-Fi says Dear Bop will help you with any problems. That's true. That's true. Number one Sci-Fi says Bird of Prey. They are showing DS9 on BBC America right now. Now we should put it on. I want to give them credit. I want them to see that people are watching it. There it is, Deep Space Nine. It's the episode where Qapla goes to the wormhole and dies. They take Qapla off Bajor. It's her first time and only time she ever leaves Bajor, and they take her through the wormhole, and they get a distress call, and they take her, and she dies. But then she comes back to life, but she can never leave the planet, and they never visit her again. Sci-Fi Nation suggests Bird of Prey 5.com. Click on Dear Bop to submit an anonymous question or problem. Yes, that is true. If you have a question or problem you need advice on, go to birdofprey5.com, click on the Dear Bop link, and I will answer it Mondays and Fridays, and depending on how the week goes, sometimes in between. Wesley says Bird of Prey, the Galaxy class would be awesome for a cruise ship. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't use the Enterprise D in another series. Of course, the closest they came was Saturday Night Live, where when Patrick Stewart hosted, and they had him as captain of a cruise ship. And of course, that was exactly what I thought of when I heard about Avenue 5. I was like, oh, it's going to be like Patrick Stewart as a captain of a cruise ship in space. Like the Love Boat in space. That's what I was expecting. This is not quite the Love Boat in space in that there is, without spoilers, there is a emergency, and it's more like Gilligan's Island meets Star Trek. Actually, it's more like Gilligan's Island meets the Orville, because it's more of a comedy, although Gilligan's Island is a comedy. So I'd say it's like Gilligan's Island meets Star Trek. Now, they don't get stranded, but they do they do turn what was supposed to be an 8-week trip into multiple years. Yeah, they haven't gotten stranded yet. For now, what they thought was supposed to take them 8 weeks, it's now going to take them 3 years to get home. Of course, we don't know that they even have the supplies on board for 3 years. Jeff Franklin says sci-fi seems fishy, like a trap. I will become trapped in a Krogan prison. No, you don't get trapped. It's anonymous. I won't even know. If you don't say who you are, I won't know. Rocks out says Bird of Prey. They did not have it. Sci-Fi Nation, $2. All hail Kroger, dear leader, God, Emperor, Bird of Prey. Down with the evil Turdistanis. They are most evil. Dictator, anti-tracker. Hail Kroger, dear Bop. Well, thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. We'll get to Dear Bop as soon as I get to the end of the comments. Let me try to get to comments. I'm only reading the app Bird of Prey 5 comments, unfortunately, because I got so far behind. Rock Solid is saying they did not have to license it. Quit overthinking things. This is the Enterprise D. Picard and Data appear in 10 forward. It's the D. Rock Solid, I believe they might have had to license it. I honestly do. Lightman Bird of Prey, what Star Trek am I thinking of then, since TNG was recorded on 35mm? Voyager. Voyager was recorded onto VHS. For God knows what reason, TNG and DS9 were recorded onto 35mm. Voyager was recorded onto VHS. So they would never be able to redo, we would never have HD Voyager. Unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you think about it. They decided that they didn't need to keep it. They just went to VHS. Ginger Switch, Qapla Ginger Switch, and it's the Sovereign class. Thank you so much, Ginger. First time I've seen you here, I believe, but he tells me it is indeed the Sovereign class was the Enterprise E. I was curious. I had forgotten what it was. Thank you very much. Life with Matthew. Yes, that's Voyager. That is only on VHS. Unfortunately. Sci-Fi Nation says that's Turdistani propaganda, Jeff Franklin. Stromo says Jeff Franklin would Sci-Fi Nation and Bird of Prey, or I lie to you. I hope not. Ginger Switch says ship of Theseus? Oh, yes, the Greek ship. The ship where, Ginger Switch is right on top of things. Thank you so much. I hope you're still here. The ship of Theseus was the ship where it was, if you replaced every board, every wooden piece of the ship of Theseus, is it still the ship of Theseus? I say yes, but a lot of people say no. Jeff says Shromore Bird has admitted to cheating to win, so yes. Shromore says Jeff Franklin, it's not cheating when Bird of Prey, the God Emperor, does it. So he is decreed, shall it be. We can't cheat in a one-player game. I know that's hard for people to believe, but I have to say that is you cannot cheat in a one-player game. Resolute Germ with a $2 super chat. Get going, only got 15 minutes before we leave you for Vile. Oh, I got it. Okay, well, let's see how far I am. Not far. We're going to get to it very soon. It's called Mario Kart. Okay. Wesley Bird of Prey, are you saying pep, meat, or mep? I don't know, Wes. I don't remember saying any of those. Wesley, my girlfriend is saying it's Mario. It's Mario, she's saying. Well, it's Mario. No, not to each his own. Jeff Franklin says commercials. What? Yes, well, Jeff, when I have to Jaloja, because I was not blessed with an iron bladder like Doomcock, or even Anti-Trekker with his, I guess, bronze bladder, I need to Jaloja frequently. I have to put up commercials, or I could put up, clips of me singing something, but yeah. Kai Ocampa. No, not Kai Ocampa. Kai Opaka. Not Alpaca. Kai Alpaca would make a good Kai, but no, Kai Opaka. See, now you made me forget who she is. Kai Opaka. Jeff Franklin says, Bird of Prey. Jinju. Yes, that's Beam Me Up. Surf Tricktronic says, and thank you, Resolute Germ, for the super chat. Surf Tricktronic says, Bird of Prey, Night Flyers on Netflix is worth watching. It takes a couple of episodes, but it gets interesting fast. Thank you. Now, Night Flyers, I also heard today on Rational Roundtable that, I don't know, that religious one where the second Messiah also sounds like something I want to watch on Netflix. Right now, I'm still got a few episodes left in Lost in Space to get to. But, yeah, so it looks like there's some good stuff on Netflix. So I'm not canceling Netflix anytime soon. Ju, Energized Beam. Thank you, Admiral Saval. Welcome, Admiral Saval, by the way. Ju. Okay, so, Dear Bops. Oh, here we go. This one came in Saturday. All the rest came in today, I think. Dear Bop, what makes Karoga great? Sincerely curious in Columbus. Well, that's a good question. Curious in Columbus. I say Karoga's people make Karoga great. And the most important person in Karoga is me. So I'd say I am probably the primary person why Karoga is great. Of course, Mom will pray, and Sassy will pray, and Sis will pray. They also play large parts in why Karoga is great. But Karoga smells like life. If you wake up and you go outside in Karoga, you just you breathe it all in, the morning dew, the grass, the trees, the mountains, the asphalt. You smell it all, and it fills you with a life and a wonder. And there's wildflowers that spring to life in the springtime, and there's wild blueberries growing all over. You can just stop and eat blueberries. There's a couple of bears, but they don't tend to bother people. It's very rare that you have a run-in with a bear. There's wildlife. It's so quiet. You can shoot in just about any direction without having to worry about hitting anybody or anything. You can make big fires in the fireplace. Karoga just feels like love. It's peaceful. Mama Prey says it's peaceful. Karoga the synonyms of Karoga are peace, love, and happiness. So it's basically the nexus. Okay? Karoga is basically the nexus, but you don't have to kill 5 million people to get there. You can just drive to Karoga. So that is what makes Karoga great. Curious in Columbus. And of course, it would take hours to go through every single thing, but that's basically the gist. Dear Bop, I used to own a TV and VCR repair store in New York City. One day, some guy came into my store with a VCR, saying he had a tape jammed in the machine, and asked if I could repair it. I said sure, it will cost around $50, and to come back tomorrow, and he left the machine with me. So I managed to free the cassette from the VCR, and I had to splice the tape back together because it was worn out in a small section. I watched the tape to make sure it was okay, and the scene where the tape had worn out was from Star Trek DS9. A beautiful alien lady was kissing another beautiful alien lady, was kissing another beautiful alien lady. The next day, a big guy with a massive head came into the shop to collect his VCR. He was very happy I repaired his stuff. Recently, I saw his lovely mother. Do you think I should tell her about her son's viewing habits? Joe from the electronics store. Joe from the electronics store. I would venture to guess that his mother probably knows his viewing habits already. I don't think you need to. I bet it will come as no surprise to her. So you could say hi to her if you ever see her again, but you probably don't need to tell her about that. Also, I believe there's a little thing called VCR repair / client confidentiality. And I believe you would be in breach of that confidentiality if you ever broke the sacred trust between a VCR repairman and their customer by telling a third party what was in the VCR they were repairing. I'm pretty sure it's a law on the books in just about every jurisdiction. So for your own, if you knew what was good for you, you'd probably keep your mouth shut. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah. Dear Bop, I recently caught my husband having sex with his secretary in our kitchen. He had her on the kitchen table. I'm very upset. What should I do? Kind regards, Freddie. Okay, well, this could be anybody named Freddie. Especially since wait, Freddie caught his husband having sex with his secretary in the kitchen. Now, it was a woman on the table. So, Freddie has a husband, but the husband is having sex with a woman. I'm very upset. What should I do? Well, you should probably leave, Freddie. You should probably leave. It sounds like your husband just isn't into dudes, and I don't know why he would have married you to begin with, but he seems like he's just not that into you. So you should probably break it off with him if he hasn't broken off with you already, and go your separate ways and live the rest of your life. It happens. It happens. Also, you can tell him he can take the kitchen table. You'll just take fair market value for it. Dear Bop, please would you sing the Karogan National Anthem? You're singing his heavenly. Lots of love, X. So you want me to sing the Karogan National Anthem, huh? I mean, I guess I can sing along with the Karogan National Anthem. You know what? We'll wait till the end of the stream. I will sing it. I will sing along with the Karogan National Anthem at the end of the stream. I don't want to send 30 people running out of here too quickly, but I promise I will sing it at the end of the stream. Dear Bob, hello, I'm in a sad marriage. My husband has this tattoo on his face, and I'm tired of seeing it. I found love in a hot bald man. Should I divorce my husband or just live with seeing that ugly tattoo every morning? Love, Anakin Hansen. Well, Anakin, you should be honest with your husband. If you're tired of seeing his stupid face, you should be honest. You should tell him. Obviously, I assume he chose to get a tattoo. It probably wasn't forced upon him. It was his choice to make. They do have tattoo removal. If he doesn't feel like removing it, you need to be honest with him. So, I say yes. Just tell him you're done, and, move in or whatever with your hot bald man. That is what I would suggest. Okay, Dear Bop. Oh, Jesus Christ. I have sex with she-males every day. I love having sex with she-males. Would love to have you join in, hoping she-male in waiting. Well, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not joining in. I have no interest in having any type of physical, intimate relationship with she-males. Dear Bop, hola pajaro. There are two pervert idiots told me about your page. They really are fixated on my naggles. Naggles? It is sore from all the pounding, but I need the dinero. I suggest to them using my boca. You think they will pay me the same? I'm also very skilled with my manos. Alexandro. So this appears to be... Oh, and Vile Mike's premiere just went live, people. I'll have to watch it later, but it just went live. So there's probably like a 2-minute countdown. Let's see. These two pervertitos told me about your page. They're really fixated with my nagalas. It's sore from all the pounding, but I really need the dinero. I suggest using my boca. Yeah, I think they'd say the same. You should probably give them a free. You should probably give them a free try, using your boca and your manos. And if they enjoy it, you can strike up a deal. And if they don't, you'll just have to get your dinero how they've been doing it, or find some other way to get dinero. But serious, if you're already at this point, you're probably pretty desperate. I say give them a free try at the boca or the manos. And see, worst case is, listen, you gave one freebie away, maybe two. It would be worth it if you could change over, I guess. Okay. Dear Bob, do you know anything about anger management? I fear I may be developing an issue with getting upset too easily. Just this weekend, I totally flew off the handle just because a few jerks were complaining about my beloved Disney. I mean, what is wrong with these a-holes? All Disney ever did was bring us awesome Star Wars, and now these sons of bitches are losing their tiny minds over a slight name change for Fox Studios. It makes my blood boil. I hope you can help. Turd Anonymous. All hail the House of the Mouse. Well, it's a good thing you reached out to me, Turd Anonymous, because I have a friend who is in a similar situation, and yes, he very much needs anger management courses. The best way to manage your anger, well, there's several ways. There's, of course, the way that uses the devil's weed, the devil's grass, or whatever. I would say no to that. There's the Vulcan way, which is to repress all emotion. That helps, but to be honest, when humans try it, more likely than not, you end up making a serial killer. So you just got to take you have to find an outlet to let your rage out. Now, I do it by playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and going into Turdistan and just, shooting a bunch of Turdistanis, stealing a bunch of fast cars, stealing a tank, attacking air bases and just causing chaos. However, when I could drive, I would get rid of my anger by rolling down the window, playing some Frank Sinatra, and just driving. Drive until you got tired of driving, and then turn around and drive home. Just drive a highway you've never driven before. Put a map up in your home or your office, and you highlight every time you come home from a new trip. You literally highlight the route you took, and eventually you want to fill in the entire map. You want to highlight every road on every map, and you will think back to you, and it's just you and your Sinatra MP3 mixtape, if you will, that's got 300 or 400 Sinatra songs on it, and you'll remember which songs you were listening to when you were going down a new highway for the first time, and that really helps get the anger and issues down. Now, unfortunately, I can't drive anymore. I can't get outside, so I can't do that stuff. But I find the next most helpful thing is just playing Grand Theft Auto 5. If you can still drive, you should just put the windows down, put the Frank Sinatra up, and just head in a direction for hours until you get tired, turn around, and come home. That's the way. That's the way you deal with stress of life. It's the best thing you could ever do. Thomas Potts is going to work. See you later. Take care, Thomas. Trek 95's a sci-fi nation. Captain Cat, certified relationship expert, bird of prey, so he knows about Frank and Freddie. Admiral Saval says Trump is an idiot. Well, Admiral Saval is certainly not alone, although I would disagree. Okay, so hopefully Turdnonymous now knows how to get rid of his anger issues. Dear Bop, if I get turned on watching people in costumes have intercourse, do you think that's normal? No, it means you're a furry. You're a furry. DJ, you're a furry, DJ. It's not that being a furry is bad, but it's just not normal. That's why it has a word. It has a word, like a phrase. It's called being a furry. If it was normal, it would just be being human. But I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not normal. See, a lot of people get hung up. Oh, you use the word normal. No, what's normal? Normal is what most people are. Okay, that's normal. I'm not saying most people, that being normal is inherently good and being abnormal is inherently bad. But you have to recognize the existence that a normal does exist, okay? Heterosexual is normal. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't mean that heterosexual is inherently good and homosexuality is inherently bad or non-binary is inherently bad. That is not what it says. But you have to recognize the vast majority of people are heterosexuals. That is normal, right? Most men were born men and live their whole life as men. That is normal. That does not mean that if you were born a man and at some point in your life you feel that you're a woman living in a man's body, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that is not the norm. So a lot of people get angry when you say we're normal. Okay? Normal is just a word used to express the majority, you know? The typical, the situation you could most expect, all things being equal, is usually the normal situation. Okay? It's just a word. It doesn't have any inherent, it doesn't mean good or bad. It literally just means what it means. It's normal. Okay? It's normal for people to get pains. It doesn't mean the pain is good. It just means it's normal to you if you get pain as you grow older. Right? It's normal for people to get arthritis as they grow older. It doesn't say, I'm not saying that the arthritis is good, that the pain is good, or that you should shut up and stop complaining. No, none of that's true, but it is normal. Multi-Gunman says, Bird, how's it going? It's going good, Multi-Good Man. I hope you're okay. Average James says, a furry. Yes, a furry, Captain Cat. Of course DJ's a furry. He changes between his personas during his live streams. He changes from a bunny rabbit to an eagle to, a T-Rex. he keeps changing. And he's going to be a unicorn. He's going to be a unicorn soon. He's patiently waiting for the unicorn suit. Dear Bop, I usually work when you do Dear Bop readings. I wish there was a way to read your responses. Thanks, friend. Well, you can always read the last episode of Dear Bop, and the next episode of Dear Bop is there. Now, if you're looking for Dear Bop later, and I obviously, if you've already left, this is, you're probably not going to hear it, but all my live streams are available on YouTube. They're just not listed. But if you go to my YouTube channel, there is a playlist, Live and Unlisted, and that has every live stream I ever done. Now, if you keep looking through the playlists, and you go to more and more playlists, there's actually a playlist just for Dear Bops. So that playlist has every video that's been either only Dear Bops or a live stream where I also do Dear Bop during the stream. Now, some of them I put in the start time as where Dear Bop starts, but whether I put in the start time in the comment as to where Dear Bop starts or not, it's fairly, if you're only looking for Dear Bop because of the custom Dear Bop background, you can just click through the video until you see where Dear Bop background, and then, you know, back the cursor up to the right point on the timeline, and you know once you see the Dear Bop background come up, that's where Dear Bop starts. So you can always fast forward directly to Dear Bop if you're looking for it. So if I do Dear Bops during a live stream, I will put it in the Dear Bop playlist. If I don't do Dear Bops during a live stream, then it will not be in the Dear Bop playlist. So if you want Dear Bop specifically, go to the Dear Bop playlist. If you just want past live streams, go to the Live and Unlisted. Now there's also a BedLife stream. There's also a BedLife playlist, which holds all my past BedLife and Jar Life streams. And then there's other playlists like Star Trek and others that hold related live streams. Well, Chair Life, I don't know if Chair Life had enough to make a playlist. They're either in their own playlist under Chair Life, or they're in the BedLifes as well. Dear Bop, Kuroga is the Nexus Binder's red-hot glowing ass. It is level 12 of Robot Hell. Signed, Robot Devil. P.S. Bop, you still owe your rent 1,000 Richard Nixon dollars if you don't pay Don Bot to get my money. Okay, well, the Robot Devil, if he's real, is mistaken. Kuroga is not level 12 of Robot Hell, because Kuroga is not in New Jersey. As we all know, Robot Hell is underneath Atlantic City. We are quite in the opposite direction of Atlantic City. So, sorry, Robot Devil, you have the wrong Bop. Dear Bop, all hail Kuroga and all hail your dear leader, God Emperor, my God. My good health and high spirits are always yours. May Red Bull give you wings so you don't crash while flying. Faithfully yours, a humble, non-sci-fi affiliated citizen. Hail Kuroga! And thank you for writing in, although you're not asking for any assistance. I nonetheless thank you for saying hello. And, you know, yes, raising my spirits. Now, I don't drink Red Bull, but, nevertheless, I have the wings. I have the wings. I can fly anything. I can fly anything. Dear Bop, certain feline military man from chat wants to ask about penis enlargement. How does it work? Captain, okay. I wouldn't know. I would not know how it works. I'm assuming if you're buying pills off the TV, though, that you probably are wasting your money. I mean, what the hell happens if you stop buying the pills? It seems even worse. And yeah, don't. If you need that, talk with your doctor. Okay, I'm actually going to say defer to your doctor for that. Just please don't buy pills off the TV that claim to do those things, because I can pretty much assure you they don't. If they did, the people who have it probably wouldn't be selling it. Dear Bop, why are you such a jerk? You skipped my message about the D. Was it because I called Anti-Trick a jerk? You know he's on, so does he. D is the best. If I missed that, I apologize. There were a lot of chats got lost today when I went to Discord, and then I came out of Discord, the window resized, and resizing of the window makes YouTube get rid of the old chats. So unfortunately, I lost a bunch of chats going to Discord, which is one of the reasons I try never to go to Discord while I'm live streaming. Especially when I have only one screen, it makes it very difficult. So, it's my fault. I should have known not to go to Discord until I was further off in the chat. But that's the reason why I really try not to go to Discord while we chat. Okay, so I'm going to read through some of these last comments, the @BirdO'Prey5 comments, and then I will sing the glorious Karoga national anthem, and I guess we will call it a night. Night Flyers on Netflix. That was the last thing I read. Resolute Germ says we're running out of here anyway. Bird of Prey. No problem. Thomas Potts says Bird of Prey. I'm going to work. See you later. Trek95 says Captain Cat, certified relation expert, Bird of Prey, so he knows about. Okay, I read that. The Mulcair Man says, how you going? Read that. Oh, maybe there's not a hell of a lot left to read. Josh Reed says Captain Cat DJ always wears a bunny suit or other animal suit. Yes. Joseph says majority of Germans from the 1940s were national. The N-word, the German N-word, not the other N-word. Was it normal? If the majority of Germans were in fact card-carrying N-words, then yes, it would have been normal in Germany to be an N-word. I would say that is true. I am not sure if that is true, though, if it was the majority. I know the majority of Germans certainly weren't active N-words. They might have just been passive N-words because they didn't want to get, picked on for not being. Regardless, yes, but if it was the majority, then it was indeed the normal thing to be in Germany. Obviously, you wouldn't normally be an N-word in another country, but in German, yes. Multi-Gunman says all Germans are still N-words to this day. It's called a fact. Well, I can't, in fact, I doubt that. I think they're becoming communists. Socialists, at least. Sci-Fi Nation says, Bird of Prey, you have one last Dear Bop of the night. I heard the chime go up. Well, I read every one. What you heard was my cell phone. That was probably not a Dear Bop. It was probably a spam message, to be honest, but let's see. It was just something posted on Facebook that has nothing to do with anything. Track 95 says, Bird of Prey, I could have sent you a link here, but no wrench. Oh, Track 95, you are wrenched, my friend. You are wrenched. Thank you, though. Thank you so much. I forgot. Aberjam, you are wrenched too. I forgot. It's been a while since we did some wrenching. Aberjam, you are wrenched. Surf Trektronics, you are wrenched, my friend. There we go. Oh, yes, we can do Mamo Prey 5-tail. I'm sorry, Kronos. Thank you. So we'll do Mamo Prey 5, and then I will sing the glorious Perogan national anthem. Joseph says over 43% of the population voted for him. Well, that's not a majority of the population. Son of a bitch, you have a Dear Bop. Okay, so I'll look, Sci-Fi. But, let's see. Okay, we've got one more Dear Bop. Now, this is going to be very confusing for people who were looking for Dear Bops. After this, Dear Bop, Mama Pray will do a tale if she wants to. Dear Bop, we tried to tell a certain feline military cat that you didn't know about penis enlargement, and that you know, and that the problem of yours in the capable hands of Frank. What? Wait. We tried to tell a certain feline military cat that you didn't know. Well, why would it be feline military cat? You don't need to say feline and cat, but whatever. That you didn't know about penis enlargement, and now probably YouTube's gonna see that word and think this is spam. And that your problem of yours is the capable hands of Frank and Freddie. We all know how you like their hands-on approach. Okay, this is nonsense. There's no question, and the grammar is terrible. So I'm sorry, whoever put this in. Although Sci-Fi Nation seemed to know it was here spectacularly, but we're just going to actually delete this one because it's not a real Dear Bop. It's not a real Dear Bop. Track 95 says, "Low Bird of Prey, I was not going to ask you, but thank you. I'm not worthy. You are worthy. Hail the great leader of Kuroge." Thank you. Zachary Gibbons says, "Anti-Trekker is getting ready to go live when you're done." And Vinyl Mike just got done too. Very cool. So we're just going to be a few more minutes. And Anti-Trekker can go live now. I mean, he went live as Rational Roundtable. He can stream over. I can stream over his stream. Okay, Mama Pray, the camera is off, so you can come here. You can come here. Multigun Man says, "The world always needs more Mama Pray 5.
Aww.
Thank you. Joseph says the second elections, he got 92.2%. Well, that's the second election. Springtime says, "Bird of Prey, how's it going?" It's going well, Springtime. Oh, this is the end of the stream. Mama Pray is going to tell a tale. I'm going to sing the Kuroge National Anthem, and then we're more or less out of here. Aberjam says, "Bad enough. You rewrite my lyrics, Bird of Prey. Now you want to sing over me." Aberjam, we are looking for you, okay? We're looking for you. You're clearly delusional, but you'll be fine. You'll be okay. I turn the microphone over to Mom O'Prey.
Hi, all. This is going to be a little bit of a strange tale, because actually, part of it took place today. Many of the people that are here normally have seen Camille on camera, has heard Joe speak of Camille. Camille is Joe's caregiver. 3 days a week she comes and helps me out, but she's part of the family. She's been coming to help take care of Joe for over 10 years. And in the beginning, she was coming 7 days a week. I mean, like, it's just a couple of hours a day, but she's dedicated and, like I said, part of the family. With that in mind, and this, I have to, what's that word? Preface it? Yes. That I don't normally get into, stereotypical, stereotypes, let's put it that way, and, racism or anything like that. But today, the story's going to be a little different. Camille came in today, and, did I mention Camille is Haitian? Yes, Camille is from Haiti, and she works in a part of Queens that is overwhelmingly Asian. I mean, I'm talking like maybe 80 to 90%. And she came in today and she's talking, she's, "Oh, did you guys hear about the big to-do about the Chinese commercial?" And we had no idea what she was talking about. And she explained this commercial, and Bird looked it up. I'll stop using Joe, sorry. Bird looked it up and found out there was a commercial put out about 3 years ago, and it was kind of derogatory. It was very derogatory. He can tell you later how to find it. But in any case, it was put out in China, and back in whatever 3 years ago was, there was a big commotion. And then apparently there was the same type of commercial about 10 years ago. Yeah, it was just derogatory to black people. And
I'll just say what the commercial was.
Oh, go ahead.
So it was a commercial, and this was, again, 3 years ago, aired in China. There was a Chinese woman at the laundromat or something, and a black guy who was dirty. Like, he came in like he was just working from somewhere, and he had, like, pieces of paint and stuff on him. So he goes in to kiss the Chinese lady. The Chinese lady puts a Tide Pod, though it's not Tide, it's some other brand, in his mouth, then stuffs him into the washing machine, turns on the washing machine, jumps on top of the washing machine. The washing machine's jumping around while he's in there. You hear some sounds. And then she gets off the washing machine, she opens it up, and a Chinese guy comes out. I assume a good-looking Chinese guy comes out, and okay, they washed the black off the guy, and he became a good-looking Chinese guy.
okay, so this is how the conversation started. Camille's brother is married to a Chinese woman, and she said that they had a hard time. In fact, her words were, "My brother went through hell before he got married. Her family really didn't approve." So I said, well, Camille, back in the early 70s, my brother went through the same hell. My sister-in-law is Chinese. Well, they got divorced, but had nothing to do with that. But her father absolutely refused to acknowledge my brother. Unfortunately, her father was ill, and he did pass away, but they did not get married until after her father passed away. He would not allow it. But that was, again, 1970, say, 73. And Camille's brother might have been married, like, say, 15 years ago. And you would think that things have changed. Well, we have neighbors that are Chinese, and we're really, very friendly, and we get along and all that. And they mentioned that they did not approve of the son's girlfriend. And I said, why? She's not 100% Chinese. And I looked at them like, this was 2018 then, I guess this happened. He said, oh, no. And I said, wow, this is still going on. I'm like shocked. I was brought up even 60 years ago. People were people, and that's it. It didn't matter what your race, religion, it just didn't matter. And if you fell in love with somebody and you were going to be married, that's fine. But I guess the whole world don't think like me. And I'm learning new things every day, even at this age. But I still go back to my beliefs. And I'm sorry for the people that still feel the way they feel. On that note, I don't know why I ranted on like this, except that commercial got me. Though I did think it was slightly funny, and so did Camille.
Yeah, well, it was funny.
Yeah. Not in good taste.
Not in good taste, but it was funny. Right. And unfortunately, a lot of things not in good taste are funny. That's just the reality of the situation. And while Mamo Prey might not think this still happened all that much, I mean, even in college, I knew a guy, one of the guys in my fraternity was dating, he was a white guy and he was dating an Armenian woman, and they had to break it off. Her parents were not okay with her dating a non-Armenian, and he was pretty depressed by it. But yeah, it still happens. It happens a lot of places. Not everybody's okay with just dating outside of your race or your ethnic group. It's still your religion, whatever it is, Now, in this family, it's not an issue. On both sides of the family, it has not been an issue. Not for a long time, which thankfully. But yeah, no, it's not something you can take for granted. So just something to remember on Martin Luther King Day. If your kid falls in love with somebody who's a different color or different religion or from a different country or who says their name is Mario and you say it's Mario, just let them get married. Okay. Let them get married. Don't say anything bad about them. They deserve love and whatnot. Okay, guys. So, thank you. Trek 95 says, please thank Mamo Prey for us. I will. Thank you, Mamo Prey. Trek 95, Mamo Prey is a wise and progressive woman. Springtime says, Bird of Prey, jokes aside, he's seen that commercial. Yes. Springtime says, you must declare war on the People's Republic of China. No, not over that. I mean, listen, that is the culture in China. Just to be clear, that was the culture that was approved. And Life with Matthew says I can show the picture. So, just one last thing before I sing the Kurogan National Anthem and we end the stream. This was on the left was the guy that I called the Tool, who was the Tool, and on the right, Life with Matthew took a picture of himself. He happened to be wearing a green shirt today in front of his green screen. But don't worry, Life with Matthew, you're not the Tool. Only this dude is. Only this studio is. Captain Cat says, what commercial again? Okay, hold on, Sassy. Hold on. I'm not going to play the commercial. I am not going to play the commercial, but I will give you guys the link to the commercial. I believe this is it. Let's see. Nope, that is a link to my own. Okay, YouTube. And Anti-Tracker is going to go live right after me, so guys, get ready to head over there. Okay, come on. Is this going to be it? Oh, okay, fine. I will just go. Okay, if you go into YouTube and you type in racist China black washing machine commercial. And you get, okay, so you get a lot of you get a lot of links to it. Let's see.
The advertise.
I don't know if this shows the whole commercial. Yes, okay, this shows the whole commercial. So the commercial starts about 20 seconds in to this link. There you go. Now, I'm not going to watch it. But there it is. It's 3 years old already, almost 4 years old. Okay, so with that, guys, we're going to sign off. Qapla, and I'm going to sing the Krogan National Anthem. We're not going to play the credits. It's really bad and very racist this springtime. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. But what I do need to do is, well, I guess we're just gonna sing the anthem, and then we're signing off right after the anthem. Take care, all. Qapla. All hail great Karoga, the land of Jaloja. Hail mighty leader, the great bird o' prey. We kick the fannies of foul Turdistanes. We found all your orphans and took them away. We give our orphans love and care. Try to deny it if you dare. We give them shelter that's close to the mines. Mighty leader does the greatest dreams. He's the answer to Karoga's dreams. Sweeter than sugar and fresher than pines. We love building bridges through valleys and ridges. We bow at the feet of the great Mamo Pray. All hail Karoga, the land of Jaloja. Our wheelchairs are fast and our beds fold in two. We like to drive around in Jeeps. We love the way it hoots and beeps. Going real fast makes sassy a roo. All hail Karoga. Oh, all hail our mighty Lord and King, great ruler over everything. All hail Karoga. Jaloja will reign. Thank you, Aberjam. Mucklunky. Good night, all. Take care. Qapla. And remember to tip your trekker. Tip your trekker. Aberjam says it brought a tear to his third eye.